Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige and this is my open book. In today's video we're going to be doing another weekly wrap up. So grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's chat about the books I read over technically the last 2 weeks. Sorry I didn't have a video for you guys last Monday, but I had to travel out of town for work, so couldn't exactly film and upload while I was there. But you didn't really miss much because I was working more, so I didn't really get that much time for reading anyway. Over the past 2 weeks, I finished 3 books and then I DNF'd 2. Let's just start in order. So the first book that I tried to read was Under the Stars by Laura Pavlov. This is the second book in her Cottonwood Cove series. And I liked the first book a lot more than I thought I would. It wasn't anything like God tier, you know, amazing, but I think I gave it 4 stars. This one, I DNF'd. Which was surprising for me. This is Grumpy Sunshine, which is usually like my favorite trope in a book. I really wanted to love this one, but there was just something about these 2 characters that just didn't grip me. And I feel like there wasn't enough going on in the plot. I don't know, it just felt very meh, like middle of the road. And then when they finally got together physically, the dirty talk was like super cringe in my opinion. This one wasn't for me. I'm still gonna try the other books because, like I said, the first book I really liked. I DNF'd this one, so I feel like I need a tiebreaker. So I'm gonna keep trying. Maybe the rest of the series will be better. The second one was just not for me. It's supposed to be like a workplace romance, so she's supposed to be like the assistant to him. There's an age gap. He's grumpy, she's sunshine. I don't know, like I said, I really wanted to like this one because normally I would like that kind of setup. I like Grumpy Sunshine. Workplace romances always have pretty good tension in them, you know, with the whole forced proximity situation. But again, this one just fell flat for me. I don't know, it might be the unpopular opinion, but that's just how it was. So because that one didn't work out, I wanted to hop into something else that was small town just to kind of, you know, scratch that itch. And I ended up reading Tempt Our Fate by Kat Singleton, and this was much more successful for me. I gave this 4 stars. It was really good. So this was the sequel to Rewrite Our Story, which I raved about in I think I read this in like May or June, something like that. I love that book so much. I gave it 5 stars. One of my top reads of the year for sure. Definitely in like my top 10. This one I don't think was at that level because I don't think this one had the same emotional depth as the first one did. I'm automatically going to be biased to the first one because that one was a second chance, and you guys know I love second chance romance. The characters had history together. That's my favorite. This one was Enemies to Lovers, which I don't usually love, but this was done well. This was done well. Basically, the premise of this one is the female main character is Pippa. She is the sister to the male main character in the first book. She's also the best friend of the female main character in the first book. So she's the typical small town girl. She runs her own it's not like a bakery. I guess it's like a cafe because she does like pastries and food, but also coffee. So yeah, a cafe. And she did recently lose her mom, so she's obviously dealing with that. She's wanting to expand her business, but she's never been able to like buy more space in the property that she's renting. Well, this rich person comes in and buys the property next door for an art gallery, and she's pissed. Goes next door to see who is buying it, and she realizes this guy named Camden, which you get more of their backstory in the first book, so definitely read that one first. But basically Camden is a rich guy from New York. He's a city boy and he hates the small town life, but he's just trying to, you know, expand his business and to make a name for himself outside of his parents, who were also in the art industry. And him and Pippa had a lot of really negative run-ins with each other up until this point, so they already hate each other. Just because every time they've met up until this point, it's ended badly, or like it was just a mess. So they don't like each other. They're complete opposites, and she's pissed that he's buying this spot, and he's pissed that she is next door to this place that he just bought. So there's obviously a lot of, you know, fun banter between the 2 of them. And I really enjoyed this one. She is trying to show him, you know, trying to get him to appreciate this small town that he's now gonna have a business in, and she wants him to really embrace it. I think that's one of the best things about small town romances is when there's someone who's not from that small town and it's almost like a culture shock of, you know, how different it is compared to being in the city. I love when books have that, so I thought that was really enjoyable. And yeah, the personalities of these characters were just amazing, just the way they butted heads. I don't know, this is very similar to Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score that I talked about in my last weekly wrap up. So I feel like it just gave me the same vibes and I was living for it. I was really enjoying it. After that, I finally read Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And it did live up to the hype. I will say, 5-star read for sure. If you are someone who watches a lot of BookTube or goes on Book Talk or Bookstagram already, you probably already have heard everyone and their mother talking about this book. But I'm still going to tell you about it because I really enjoyed it and I was really excited about it. So, this is like if Sarah J. Maas, okay, wrote a mashup of Divergent and Hunger Games, but like in a school setting, kind of. So basically the premise of this one is you follow Violet, the female main character, and the world that she lives in is separated into different like quadrants, and it's based on like what kind of career you're going to be. So you're either going to be a writer, a healer, a scribe. I don't remember the other one. It's fine. Violet is raised her whole life by her father that she's going to be a scribe. That's what she's trained for. That's what she studied to be. Her mother is the general. She was a writer and she's like the big general of the entire world that she lives in. And her mom decides last minute, like, no, you're going to be a writer. Sorry, not sorry. So she's kind of thrust into this very cutthroat world of trying to make it as a writer. And this is why I say it's kind of similar to Divergent. If you've read that series or watched the movie, you'll understand. But like, you can pick which one you want, or you may like take a test to see which job you have like an aptitude for. But once you pick, you have to go through trials and tribulations in order to kind of qualify for that title or that class, basically. So she has to go through some pretty intense tests. And there is a lot of death right off the bat. This is, like I said, it's very cutthroat. The stakes are very high. This is not a light read for sure. The romance element is like an enemies to lovers scenario. So the male main character, Xaden, he is someone who is the son of a traitor, basically. So his father got executed by Violet's mother, the general. Violet also hates Xaden because his father killed her brother, okay? So they both have equal hate towards each other because they both feel as though they were wronged by the other's family. You got that whole element going on of the enemies to lovers. Like I said, you've got like the Divergent vibes of her trying to make it in this cutthroat world of being a writer. And then there are dragons, okay? They have to get chosen by a dragon, and they can like speak to their dragons telepathically, and they can like feel their dragon's feelings. So that part was really cool. That kind of gave me like more like Harry Potter vibes, I guess you could say, because that had more of like a fantasy element than like a sci-fi dystopian element. I just think this is like the perfect mashup of so many things that we love in stories, right? You've got the action, the world building, you've got the fantasy, you've got the romance, and you've got like found family, okay? Like this literally delivers in every single area possible. And I know you're probably sick and tired of people talking about it. You probably think it's overhyped, but I promise it's not. It really is that good, especially if you're a fan of those kinds of things. If you love Harry Potter or Divergent or Hunger Games or romantic books like A Court of Thorns and Roses, okay? Like this is for you. You have to read it. Stop trying to make it seem like you're too cool to read something that's mainstream, because you're not. This book is worth it. Next up, which, are we really surprised that the book that I tried to read after Fourth Wing would not satisfy me? No. I DNF'd another book. I DNF'd Say You Swear by Megan Brady. I was trying to be in my football era, okay? I'm sure you guys have heard all over Travis and Taylor, okay? If you haven't, just Google Travis and Taylor and you'll see. There's like this famous NFL player who is, I think, having a thing with Taylor Swift right now, and all the content is just really cute, and I'm totally here for it. I don't even care if it's a fake relationship. I don't even care if it's for publicity, okay? I'm gonna eat it up, and it's fine. So I'm definitely in my football romance era, and I tried to get into it with this book and it fell flat. It really fell flat. I was very surprised because so many people say this is like their favorite football romance of all time, and like it's so emotional and the angst. So I was like, okay, sign me up, sign me up. And I heard there was like a love triangle kind of thing going on. This one was disappointing for me. I did not like the writing style. I think that was really the main thing. It just felt very choppy. Like it would be like a really cute scene and then it would cut to like 2 weeks later. And then it would be like a very similar scene. It's like the same scenes kept happening but in different like settings or like at different times. But I feel like I wasn't really getting anything new or substantial out of it. Basically the female main character, she has a crush on her brother's best friend. But that doesn't really work out because he's too much of a pansy to go after her in spite of his brother's wishes. So, you know, it is what it is. So she starts liking this new guy, Noah. And I will say, I read up to the 50% mark, and the only thing that kept me going was Noah. Noah is a great male main character. I almost kept reading just for him because I just wanted more of his story. But like I said, I got to the 50% mark and I just like wasn't getting anything out of it. So I don't know. And this was a long book. This is supposed to be over 500 pages. I'm gonna need more than that. But anyway, so then she starts developing feelings for Noah, starts hanging out with him. But I think she's also just like still hung up on the brother's best friend just because she's had a crush on him for so long. So I think she's like not sure if she can let herself like get over him. And even though it's clear that she likes Noah, it's almost like she doesn't want to admit it. She's still like, oh, but I feel like we're just friends. Like, girl, no, you're not. You're not. So, I don't know. I didn't like the female main character. She was annoying. And this writing style just wasn't for me. And there wasn't enough plot to keep me interested. It wasn't it. Wasn't it for me. I definitely need more football romance recommendations. So, comment down below some of your favorite football romances. Because I really need to find something better than this. Because this was not it. And I ended off the month with a mystery. I read Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. Now, you guys know I mostly read romance on this channel, but I do love a good mystery or thriller, but I have to be in the right mood for it. And Agatha Christie is someone where I know I can always count on her to get me sucked in. I read this book in one sitting. It only took me like a few hours. I wanted to indulge in a mystery thriller because it had been a while since I read one, and I wanted to finish off the month with this book right here. Plus, the movie is coming out. The movie is called The Haunting in Venice, I think is what it's called. The movie looks a little scary though. The book I read actually had a foreword from the screenplay writer of the movie, and he said that he changed a lot. So I don't know how I'm gonna like the movie in comparison. When I watch it, I'll let you guys know. I'll probably talk about it on my Instagram, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. This was definitely not my favorite Agatha Christie. It still gave me like the cozy fall vibes. Just like the title says, there's a murder. That's not a spoiler because every Agatha Christie is like a whodunit, right? Murder mystery. In this one, there's a Halloween party going on, and they have a lot of like fun, like traditional Halloween festivities. Like there's like a broomstick decorating contest, someone that dresses up as a witch and she pretends to like tell them their fortune. So this definitely gives great fall vibes. I definitely recommend reading this in the month of October for sure for the spooky Halloween season. And this is in the Hercule series, so that's the detective, like Murder on the Orient Express. What are some of the other ones? Death on the Nile. Okay, like those are the same detective. So he's in this one and he's such a fun character. So I obviously liked it. Like it was still like a cozy mystery. If you've read her other books, like And Then There Were None, I feel like that one is very like fast paced and like a lot of stuff happening and you really have no idea what's going on the entire time because something new happens in like every chapter to keep you guessing. This one was definitely more of a slower burn. It didn't have as many twists and turns as some of her other ones did. So I didn't rate this one super high. I gave this one 3 stars because like it was still good, but it wasn't great. It could also be because maybe because I've read so many of her books, I don't know, or like I watched so many mysteries, but I ended up figuring out whodunit pretty early on. So when it got revealed that one of my early theories was it, like I felt a little disappointed. I was like, oh, that's it, like duh, I already figured that out kind of thing. But that was just me personally. Like I said, maybe if you've never read an Agatha Christie before, this could be a good one to start with because like I said, it's a more like tame Agatha Christie, I would say. So I highly recommend checking it out for the spooky season. But if you're not someone who really cares about fall vibes and if you don't really, you know, like the whole atmosphere of it, this probably won't be your favorite. I recommend reading some of her other ones, you know, the classics, like I said, Death on the Nile, Murder on the Orient Express, or like I said, one of my favorites is And Then There Were None. That's my favorite Agatha Christie book. So this doesn't live up to those, but it was still cute. It was still cute. I gave it 3 stars. All right, that's gonna be it for today's video. Like I said, not that much reading got done over the past 2 weeks, but October, we're ramping back up, okay? So get ready for all the spooky vibes. I've got like paranormal romances on deck. I've got serial killer romances, witchy romances, like dark academia, romantasy. Yeah, it's gonna be a good month. And like I said, I'm still in my football romance era right now. Leave me those recommendations down below. And there's also a lot of new releases in October. We gotta buckle up for those. So make sure you give this video a like and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my future wrap-ups and other fun videos that come along the way. And I'll see you next time with another video. Bye.